What's going on, everybody? It's your boy D Train back with another episode of the Collective Sounds podcast. Today we got a special guest in the building with us. This is a long time, I would like to say friend,
Yes.
and it's this brother here, man. We didn't been through it through high school together. He actually served as our valedictorian for our class of 2006. So shout out to all of my MB Smiley folks that graduated in class of '06. So we have here with you all today, Jerome Joseph. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm blessed, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, if everybody out there that's listening, we're gonna get into a quick interview, a few topics with this brother here, man, and we just gonna see what a night takes us, man. So you all sit back and enjoy it, man. Again, this is D Train Collective Sounds Podcast. Let's get on into it. All right, brother, you ready?
Yes, sir.
This is Collective Sounds Podcast. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
All right, man, cool. So I guess just to start off with this thing, man, before we actually get into some of the things that we talked about discussing prior to us hitting record, I just want to kind of build on something real quick. Just a few things to start off. Like, let me ask you this question. Like, just as far as music, who have you been listening to lately?
Music lately. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm a big Star Wars geek. So I was actually listening to the Star Wars, the soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big, we were both involved in marching band in high school, so I'm partial to music. So I was listening to that, just like the orchestration of it, man, and just when you're watching the movie and just seeing how the music just flows with the film, and like just seeing that, like I see the movies when I'm just listening to music. So we're listening to that. Also, Erykah Badu's new mixtape. You can't use my phone. That's jamming, man. And of course, I'm always on some jazz, So I love some Dave Brubeck, Joe Henderson, Dexter Gordon, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Kenny Garrett. Like I'm all over the place. That also there is Robert Glasper, a fellow Houstonian.
Yes, sir. Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah. Yes, he recently did what was last year? It was a live album with the trio.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, the cover called Cover.
Had
that's my joint, man.
Had you listened to any of the Black Radio?
I love his stuff with the Experiment, man.
Yeah, man.
Black Radio 1, Black Radio 2.
Yeah, man.
Then he has another one where he does a double record.
Yeah.
Called Double Time. He does one. The first part is with the trio, then the second part is with the Experiment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. I actually had a brother from Detroit do a episode with us, man, by the name of Brandon Williams. Mm-hmm. He actually started working with Glasper too on some stuff, man. It's a beautiful body of work, man. So that brother there, man, is I'd love to see him at a show or something.
Same here, man.
Yeah, man. Well, cool, man. I just want to, just kind of start off with some questions like that, man. Now, one question that did pop up in my head just pretty recently, man, is that basically when you go on social media, what's the one thing that you can't stand seeing?
Oh man, I guess when I go on social media, the one thing I can't stand seeing is misinformation.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'm not an avid social media user, just because of the nature of my job.
Yeah.
I'm at school all day long with my kids, so I'm not really on it throughout the day. And then when I may use it on my way home and whatnot, but when I am on there, I like to espouse some positive messages and just comment. So have my own social commentary, and I lean on social media to see how other people are leaning on things as well. And I just hate misinformation about things. When I see these opinions that are drawn based on ignorance, based on from something that you have no idea about, and you don't know these people, and you say these crazy things, So that's my biggest pet peeve when it comes to social media.
I got a great example of what you just said too, man. We've recently gotten our new mayor, mayor-elect Mr. Sylvester Turner. A fellow classmate of ours actually had posted something on social media too about him winning, and the person that posted it was like, man, these comments are insane. And basically, I started looking at these comments, man, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So you got people that's not even in the city anymore talking about Houston's going to be the next Detroit and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, man, come on, y'all. You know, my rule of thumb has always been, you know, just be respectful to others. And even if you don't agree with something or you don't like it, I mean, it's okay to voice your opinion, but do it in a way to where you're not being ignorant. You know.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So, you know, that's a good example of what you're saying, man. So that was a good one too, man. Misinformation, man. I like that. Anything else come to mind?
No, you know, another thing, I'm trying to see how I say this in a PC way. Like, there are things that, you know, I'm all for the fun, but I don't like things that are degrading to our community.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think certain things are all in good fun, but we really need to be cognizant of what we put out in the social media sphere.
Yes, sir.
Because there are so many ignorant people in the world, you know? Yeah. And there are so many people who make these broad generalizations based on the things they see via social media, when they don't see the richness of our culture and who we are as a people. Yeah. And they see this one little video and they think that's everybody.
That's it.
So I think that you have to be kind of careful. Like, when I just see like super ignorant things, like something, I'm like, okay, that's all good and fun. Yeah. But the other thing, I'm like, come on, man, we got to do better.
Oh yeah, man, I definitely agree with that one, brother. Man, that's good. That's real good, man. So, all right, man, let's go ahead. Now we're going to get into the Jerome Joseph story, y'all. Let's go ahead and get off into it now, brother. Those are some good questions I felt to start it off, man. So a little warm up there, as they used to call them. You know, so yeah, man, just for the people out there that's listening, man. And then too, this will be a learning experience for me because, you know, we met in high school, so I really didn't know a whole lot about you. So why don't you just go ahead and tell me and the people out there, you know, what side of Houston did you grow up on and some of the things that you were into? And we just kick it off from there.
Yeah, man. So born and raised in Houston, Northeast Houston.
Yes,
grew up in Northwood Manor on the front end.
Yeah.
And attended North Forest schools, of course.
Okay.
Started out at what is that? Not Thurgood, the one on Langley, Langstead.
Yeah.
And then went over to Thurgood. Then spent my formative years at W. Rogers Elementary.
There you go.
I actually had a very brief experience when I transferred to Galena Park for a year in fourth grade. And that's actually like a very profound experience for me, actually.
Okay. Cool.
We can get back into that later, but
all right,
switched from there, switched to Galena Park briefly. Then I went back to Rogers. Then I went to Cahee. That was when they did the whole thing where they split 5th and 6th grade away.
Yeah, man, that was pretty scary for a little while there.
Yeah. So went to Cahee, and then after Cahee, went to what was that thing?
What was that thing?
Oak Village.
There you go. Man, come on, man.
Yeah, so Oak Village, I feel like that was like kind of like a turning point for me because that was when I first picked up the sax. And that's where I met my middle school band director, Mr. Good. So he was one of those. He was one of those teachers who I feel like whose influence I can still feel on my life today.
There you go. Yeah, man. Shout out to Mr. Goods, man, because he actually kind of got me into band in 7th grade, man. And hopefully, I don't know if y'all can hear that. I hope not. But my son is, he's having a little moment back there. So, excuse me for any screaming or hollering you may hear there. But we're gonna keep this thing going. We ain't gonna stop. But yeah, man, that brother there, man, he he influenced me in ways too, man, to keep trying, keep pushing in the band as well, So shout out to that brother too, man. I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's doing well. I talked to him like last year. He's doing well.
That's good. That's good. It's real good.
But so yeah, that was like, I felt like that was like a turning point.
Yeah.
Like picking up the sax.
Yeah.
From there, went to MB Smiley, and that's where we met.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how we met. I mean, that was so long ago.
Yeah, man, I can't even remember.
It is. I'm pretty sure that now most people meet. Most of us met in band anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's where it started.
Yeah.
Over there with old Mark Gordon. Shout out to you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about Smiley, man. Just as far as just kind of setting in and getting used to the high school experience, man. How would you, if you went just looking back on high school, like that starting point, hitting 9th grade, whatnot. How would you describe yourself at that particular point in your life?
Oh Lord, I would say green.
Yeah,
I was very naive.
we are.
I would say that very hopeful.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of optimism.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry.
There you go.
I would say that, like, hungry. Like, I was very tunnel vision on the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was very focused on going to college at that time.
There you go.
And that was like my ultimate goal. Like, I'm going to college. I mean, at that point, I was like, I'm going to UT just like my big cousin. Like, that's my goal. That's what I'm working for.
Okay.
So yeah, that like green and hungry. That's what I would say.
Okay. Cool, man. Now, just getting through your being a freshman, going to 10th grade, like what would you say between those two times? What were some of the other than band, some of the other activities that you were in that you kind of took part in to help, something that may have helped shaped you into the person that you are today as you look back?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say an activity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think band was what I did. Like,
there you go. Okay.
All year round. Like,
in
the fall, fall it was marching band.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, even while marching band was going on, I was also in the jazz band as well.
Oh yeah,
in the small combo, so we would do gigs around town.
That's right.
Then then in the spring, we would start doing so in the spring, like started come January, February, we started competitions for jazz band. Then we got UIL. Concert band in the spring, so band was a year-round thing for me. But I think a person, if I had to pinpoint out a single person in those first couple of years in high school who really impacted me, it would be my English teacher, Miss Lewis. Her name was Julia Lewis.
I remember her. Oh yeah,
Miss
Lewis.
Yep, and I had her both 9th grade and 10th grade, and I think I'd never met an educator like her before.
Yeah.
She wasn't ordinary.
Yeah.
The way she went about her business, her expectations were super high, and she also wasn't old. Now I love Miss Thomas and Miss Tolliver and them. I love them to death, but she was the youngest teacher that I ever had. And so I felt like she could really, she really got us as students.
Okay. And
then the other thing I remember her, like, she just really pushed us super, super hard. Like, I remember every week in her class for 2 years, we had a new definition, new vocabulary words we had to learn. We had to define them, we had to use them in sentences, and we had a test every single week for 2 years. And then at the end of both of those years, I remember my first year, at the beginning of the year, she told us, you're going to do a 10-page research paper at the end of the year. And I'm thinking, like, is this lady crazy? Like, here I am in 9th grade, like, she wants us to do this 10-page research paper, MLA citations, with us works cited, 10 resources, 50 note cards. Like, what is this foolishness this lady wants us to do?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
But we did it, and she worked us through it.
Yeah.
And without that support level and just doing that was an accomplishment, and like just made me feel that much more like, I could do this college thing.
Okay.
And then she also exposed us to things that we had never experienced before. So I remember one day that was during our Shakespeare unit.
Okay.
We're doing this is Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had to. She brought in like a bunch of food from around the world. So she brought in hummus and pita bread, and
there you go.
She brought in sushi and all these other things that we had never tried before. And I'm like, what the heck is this stuff?
I know, right?
And so and just those small things, like, it wasn't small, but like that was her going above and beyond.
Yeah.
And it just made a huge difference.
It did, man. Oh yeah, man, that's crazy, man. I can remember taking her my 9th and 10th grade year as well. Mm-hmm. But I had too many distractions, so with that being said, I guess what would you say what else was an influence to you that really kept you going through high school and staying focused on that goal of just going to college, man? Like, what else impacted you in a way to stay focused?
I think it was also big family piece as well.
Oh, you gotta know it. Yeah.
Yeah. My grandmother.
Okay.
My mom's mom was really central figure in my life.
There
God
you
rest
go.
her soul.
Yes.
I think my mom stayed on me real hard, and at that point,
all the North Side mamas did, man.
Yeah, and at that point in life, I had developed my own set of rigorous expectations for myself.
There you go. Yeah.
And through those rigorous expectations of teachers and family, and because I reached a certain bar I kind of set my own bar. Like, this is what I want to do. So,
yes, sir.
At the beginning of every year, I set a goal.
My
goal this year is to get straight A's for the entire school year. In ninth grade, when I got to 10th grade, it was also it was to do well on the PSAT and to make sure I get straight A's.
There you go.
And but number one, so my cousin also she graduated from Smiley in 2000.
What was her name?
Her name was Crystal Blanchard, and she was valedictorian in her class. So
nice.
I said when I came into Smiley, because I wasn't gonna. So that me coming to Smiley was not even gonna be a thing at first.
Yeah.
So because I got into the Bakey, the High School for Health Professions, then I also had an opportunity to go to MacArthur and then Smiley. So Smiley was kind of like me. You know what? I really want to be in the band, so that's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
And so I was like, since I'm going to Smiley, I want to be valedictorian just like my older cousin was.
Okay.
So me stepping foot on campus in ninth grade, I'm gonna be number one in my class. So
that
was also something that throughout the whole time, that was something I was working towards.
Man, that's what's up, man. Dude, you was working your butt off, man, and it obviously paid off.
Yeah.
So, man, so just kind of fast forwarding through, once we get to that, let's just go ahead and go through junior senior year real quick. So what were some of the things that you experienced at that particular time too, man? I want to say, when I think back, weren't you a part of didn't y'all do something where it was something dealing with gents or something like that?
We did Men of Distinction.
Men of Distinction, that's what it was.
We did MOD, Men of Distinction. We started that my senior year.
Okay.
I joined, we had our Omega Kappa Psi, which is our fraternity. They came back when we were freshmen, so I was also a part of that, so I was involved with that.
Yeah.
I was a part, like I said, Men of Distinction started my senior year.
Yeah.
And senior year, man, it was just all about that college push.
There you go. Yeah.
Junior year, just really focused on those grades. I came into junior year number 2 in the class, so that was my real big focus was pushing number 1. That's when my junior year was when I actually got introduced to Howard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before that, I was UT or bust.
Okay.
And then I got introduced to Howard, and I was like, wow, this is dope. And then that summer in between junior and senior year, I actually spent 6 weeks on Howard's campus.
Oh.
In a medical program.
Okay.
In the health sciences program.
There you go. Okay.
So that kind of had me set my sights on going to Howard once stepping to senior. So stepping to senior, biggest focuses were, applying to schools, like SAT, ACT, and then no, I did ACT in the junior year, but just applying to schools, and then scholarships, because I knew if I wouldn't have no scholarships, that the school thing wasn't gonna happen. So applying as many scholarships as possible, and then Miss Fance in the go what was that? The Go Center.
Yeah, Miss Fance. I remember
Miss Fance. She was clutch, man. Every day I'll go down, she'll give me a scholarship. I had to probably apply to a scholarship a day for 2 months.
Wow. Okay.
And then my aunt Nelda, who was my cousin Crystal's mother, every scholarship that my cousin applied to, my aunt had me apply to it too. So my aunt worked in, remember the old food service building, the building behind the band hall?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she worked behind there.
Oh,
so I would
nice.
go over there. I would store my band clothes over there.
Yeah.
And so every day I would go pick up my clothes. She would check in with me to see if I had applied for a scholarship.
Nice.
So she was like my built-in accountability system, if you will.
There you go. Man, that's what's up, man. So something that I wanted to ask you. Hopefully we can touch on it. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but once we all graduated, and I remember I remember this night just like any night, because your boy got up there and sang. And you played the hell out that saxophone too. I ain't gonna never forget that, man. That was it was like, come on, D, man, we this our last time doing it. You know? It was crazy, man. So you know, man. Brother had to, you know, we had to do it in one last time, man. But you know, something that stood out to me, man, and I remember my mother was talking about it that night when you basically dedicated, you know, you graduating from high school and the whole process, everything that you've been through to your father, right? Mm-hmm. Now, from my understanding, he passed away, right?
Yeah, when I was 4.
Okay. So, you know, I don't know if you wouldn't mind kind of touching on that a little bit. You know, how the memories of him impacted everything that you've accomplished. Basically, that's the question I have.
Oh, that's a heavy question. You know, honestly, man, I don't have a lot of memories.
Yeah, I mean,
because, like, especially now being 27, you know.
Exactly.
And him passing away when I was 4. But what I do have a few memories of my brother and I hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah. And then whenever I'm at my grandmother's house, I see a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And then you know, another thing is that whenever people who went to school with him, like from home, or when I was younger, everybody say I looked like exactly like him.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
And so it was a good feeling that you know, me doing well, and people saying that's Jerome's boy.
Yeah.
And my mom being able to say this is all the things he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm doing him proud, and because I'm a junior actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
So you know, so I'm doing the family name well, if you will.
There you go.
And I dedicate, you know, I dedicated to him, you know, and I'm not the only young man who has grown up without dad there. So I mean, I know that it's not a great feeling, but you know, when you set that goal and you complete it, and you can like say, you know what, I know my dad be proud of me. It's a good feeling, you know. There
you go, man. And we gonna end it off just like that, brother.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
You know there it is, man. So you know, for all my people out there listening, man, I hope y'all enjoying what we've brought to you so far. So with that being said, man, let's push it on to Howard, baby. Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do it, man. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about that experience, man. And you know, just keep it moving.
Yeah, Howard was the best. Going to Howard University was a life-changing decision.
Yeah.
It was life-altering. It was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Okay.
And I constantly, to this day, I'm still reaping the benefits from that decision.
There you go.
Howard is a historically black college.
Yes, sir.
In Washington, D.C.
Yep.
It's very prestigious.
Yep.
Has alums likes of Thurgood Marshall, Debbie Allen, you know, Felicia Rashad.
Yep.
Donnie Hathaway went there.
Alan
Locke was a professor.
Okay.
I mean, Amiri Baraka is an alum of Howard. I mean,
there you go.
Kasim Reed, mayor of Atlanta, he's a double alum of Howard. You know, so you name it, like it's the black mecca of education.
There you go. Okay.
And so me going there was a big change, because first of all, I mean, while I didn't get on a plane for the first time till I was 16.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? That was my first time ever getting on a plane and leaving the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You know, here I am at 18 going to Howard. And you know, the thing about it was, so my mom couldn't even afford to come with me. So we could only afford to get me a plane ticket.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I went to college by myself.
Yeah.
You know, so here I got my stuff, got my bag, my 2 bags.
Yeah.
And I dipped off to DC for band camp. And luckily through the program the summer program that I did, I kind of got like a DC mom, DC family, you know, and they looked out for me, picked me up from the airport, helped me get everything set up.
That's what's up, man.
But it was a very, going to Howard was a very what's the word? It was a very helped me grow up, because I had to do all these things alone. Like I felt I was very nurtured and very shielded from a lot of the things that are going on in our community at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
Like, that's why I use that word green. My grandmother, who raised me very much, because my mom worked at night, so my grandmother was with me during the day. She shielded me from a lot of the things that were going on.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I didn't know a lot, you know, so I had to pick up on things and learn a lot of stuff, and learn how to take care of myself, because I'm thousands of miles away from home.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that within itself was a very, very unique experience.
Okay, cool, man.
And then I just never been around, so I'll just say this. The first day of freshman orientation, Mr. I can't even think of his name yet, but it'll come to me. He said, I want every valedictorian to stand up in the room.
Oh, put you on spot.
Right? But so I'm valedictorian, so I'm thinking, shoot, I'm the man. Like, so I stand up, but it's about 250 other people who stand up in the room too.
Ooh, yeah.
So that makes that put me in my place of like, I'm really in this bastion of Black excellence.
Yeah.
And I had never been around so many Black intellectuals before.
There you go. Okay.
And I had never been around so many people who pushed my thinking in so many meaningful and diverse kind of ways. And I had never met so many different Black people. And I think that the thing that people think when you say historically Black college, they think it's just a bunch of Black kids that go there. Actually, HBCU campus is actually a very diverse place. Because when people look at the Black community, they see one person.
There you go. Yeah.
But we come from so many different backgrounds, from so many different cultures, from so many socioeconomic backgrounds. We had. I mean, I'm a dude from Northwood Manor in Houston. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Then you got people from Pearland and Mo City.
Yeah.
The suburbs who went to Howard as well. Then you got people from New York. You got people from all the Caribbean islands. Then you got people from Africa. We got Princess on the campus driving Bentleys. Like, it's like it's just this melting pot of the Black diaspora on the campus, and it just opened my eyes to who we are as Black people.
There you go. Okay, man, that's crazy, man. So let me ask you this then. Like, can you just describe some of the people that you were able to connect with? During your time there, man. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that you connected with, but who are some of those individuals that may have that can stand out to you to this day, man?
Yeah. I went to one of my best friends, Brian Smart.
Okay.
He actually attended North Forest schools, like kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, but he went to Booker T. Okay. He actually went to Howard Whitney.
Okay, cool.
So I think that like me and him together being there was also a seminal experience. Like he's a person who influenced my Howard career a lot.
Yes, sir.
Another person, I would say a professor that did, his name was Dr. Gregory Carr. He's now the chairman of our Africana Studies department.
Oh wow. Okay.
And just taking his classes in the way and just sitting down and just having a conversation with him in the punch out and just walking across the yard with him, just picking his brain about stuff and the way he thinks about us as a people. It's empowering.
Yeah.
So him, like being his class, just being close to him, that was something that was unique as well. Another person, what was he? He worked in our office of our Vice President of Student Affairs, Mr. Keith Miles. He was also someone else who got in my ear. Here I am as a young dude going to Howard, as with my big shirts and all this kind of stuff, and the baggy pants from Texas. And someone who pushed me to step up my fashion game. Like with the suiting and things like that.
A couple bow ties. There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Man.
And of course, then it's a host of other people. I was heavily involved in student government
at
Howard.
Okay.
Just a few names from that: Marcus Ware, Joseph Smith, Nnamdi Anozie, Corey Briscoe, Roy Montgomery, Brian Cox. Just a host of people who I worked very closely with.
Okay.
And to push our administration to do some things. We actually had a protest my senior year when Brian was president of the Student Government Association. I was vice president. We started a protest at the university.
Oh wow! Nice.
And got some things going. But just having that experience with people, it's like a lifelong bond.
Dang, man, that's crazy, bro. Man. So let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you face while you're in college, man. I mean, just like anything in life, you're always gonna have challenges. You're always gonna have stuff that kind of roadblocks that kind of get in the way, man. And the way I look at those, it just really shows the potential that you have to get through them.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about some of those, man. What were a few that you faced while you were at Howard?
I think number one, man, was just the step up in the academic rigor.
Okay.
I love Smiley, but
yeah.
it did not prepare us wholeheartedly, prepare us all for the rigors of college.
Okay.
I think I graduated college well. I did well.
Yeah.
But I struggled more than my classmates did. I struggled visibly more than they did.
Yeah.
I had to, some of my classmates, I had to work. I studied biology.
Okay.
So that's probably one of the most difficult majors to have.
Yeah.
It's one of the more difficult majors in the sciences.
Okay.
Just period. But
yeah.
I had to work twice as hard as my friends that were in the major with me.
Okay.
And it was some things I just didn't do. It was the first time I experienced failure, man.
Damn,
honestly,
that's crazy, bro.
So like I said earlier, college was a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
Like I breezed through like school, like in K through 12. The lowest I ever got was like a 75, and that was like a conniption. I lost it. Like what?
Yeah.
And like here I am, like trying my hardest and still failing.
Yeah.
That was a feeling I've never, like that failure was something that I had never experienced before.
Okay.
But I think it's not the failure that gets people, just in life and period. But particularly when you're thinking about college.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you're looking at kids who come from like low income neighborhoods, underperforming schools and neighborhoods, it's not the failure itself, it's how you deal with it.
Gotcha.
And so me personally, the way I dealt with it, I worked twice as hard. I didn't let it get down on me. Like I've always been one, you know what? I failed the test. Oh well, gotta move on to the next one. Like I've always been one to like be able to like let it roll off my shoulder and just move on to the next thing, and like make sure know my next steps and plan ahead to know what I need to do to make sure I'm getting the grade I need to get.
Okay.
But that was my first time really truly failing.
Man,
in life. That's
crazy, brother. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
the other thing I would say as a challenge was, fitting in socially. Almost.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll say that because it's a lot of people who come to Howard are they're third, fourth generation Howard students.
Okay. Yeah.
Their grandparents went to Howard.
Man.
So that generational wealth within that family, that socioeconomic status that comes with it, a little bit different than me. Like, so for example, I'll say my roommate, both his parents were doctors.
Okay.
And they both went to Howard. One went to Howard Med, one went to Howard Dental.
Okay.
And his brother went to Morehouse and his sister went to Spelman. He went to Howard.
Okay.
And that was a foreign concept to me.
Yeah.
Me, I'm only the second person in my family to ever go to college, and here, I have these they're great people, and like that's what I'm aspiring to be. But I'm like, it was hard for me to wrap my mind around that.
Yeah.
In a way, I got into this keeping up with the Joneses mindset.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because you wanna, and I felt like I rose to the upper echelons of the social ladder at Howard, but you had to do certain things to get there. So that was also a challenging in a way.
There you go, man. That's crazy, man. But it seems like overall, man, you had some pretty good experiences.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I guess let's go ahead and push forward, man. Let's get to the good stuff. Nah, let's get to the great stuff now. Let's go ahead and talk about this transition, man, you made, man, getting out to New York. Man, so after college, let's just talk about from after college, like how did all the New York moving to New York, how did that transition even come up?
So after college, after Howard, moved back home to Houston, and I started teaching. I actually taught over in Fifth Ward at Fleming Middle School, HISD, for a couple years. And so then I taught another year over at Yes Prep on the South Side. And then so I actually met a lady at Howard, and we continued our relationship. She's now my fiance. Her name is Shaquana.
Oh, shout out to you, sweetie.
Oh yeah, and I'm getting married in April.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it got to a point to where we had been doing this long distance thing for about 2.5 years, and so I had to ask myself a question like, if or is this gonna continue? Like if I want this to continue, like something has to give. Either I'm gonna move there, and she gonna move here.
Yeah.
And my ducks wasn't really lined in the row for her to move down here, so I made a decision, to move up there.
Okay.
And that's how I ended up in New York.
Man. Okay, man.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as just getting settled into New York, this, that, and the other, what were some of the things that kind of happened during that transition, man? I know you got a lot of questions, man. Where you from?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
It wasn't too bad. I had been I had lived in DC for college or whatever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. I think the biggest thing was just trying to rebuild my professional network. You know what I'm saying? Like I had done so much stuff, met a lot of people out here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I ran for office when North Forest. I ran for school board in North Forest, so I got my name out there, do my political thing. And so it's kind of like moving to New York. It was kind of like starting back at square one.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was the biggest thing. And then it was different. It was just the pace is faster. The people not as friendly, of course. That's a thing. That's a thing. You can walk down here in Houston. Yesterday at the bank, I held the door open. I said, they said thank you, good day, how you doing? They don't really do that up there. So I put my headphones in and I'm gone.
Yes.
The other thing is I actually bike in New York. So I bike to work. I commute to work by a bike when it's not cold. So yeah, it's an interesting place, man.
Ooh. So you're currently teaching at a school in New York, right?
So I'm not in the classroom right now. I'm a dean of students, which is equivalent of assistant principal. So I'm a dean of students at an elementary school in Brownsville, Brooklyn. And I'm also an instructional coach. I coach 3 of our teachers at the school as well.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, you did it in. So let's talk about that, man. How did that come about?
So when I first moved up to New York, I worked in Newark for an organization called Teach for America, and that's how the organization through which I came into teaching. So I worked for them for a year and a half, and the work was great, man. I enjoyed my team, and I was still impacting kids indirectly. But I'm like I need to be in a school. I need to be working with kids directly.
Yeah.
So I just started putting some feelers out there.
Yeah.
And in my work that I did with Teach for America, I actually was in schools helping our core members get hired, if you will. So I was working with one of our principals, and I was like, they were asking me what I was doing next year. I was like, oh, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. They was like, what? And so they were like, I didn't know you were trying to get back to school. So they put me in contact with somebody. Next thing I know, in the next couple of weeks, I'm interviewing at the school, and I got offered the position, and I took it, man.
That's what's up, man. So far, how's that experience been, man? Just being in the atmosphere of a school. I know you don't work directly with kids, but
I do. I work very. I work very directly.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. All right, so he's working with kids, people. Let's do that.
Yeah.
How has that experience been for you, man? You're dealing with a lot of different kids with so many different mindsets. Talk about an experience that really stood out to you when dealing with the kids of the school.
Okay. So my role as dean of students, not only am I the cultural steward of our school. When I say culture, I mean behavior, how kids deal at school, and helping teachers interact with students, things like that. I also am the first person. I'm the primary point of contact for families as well.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna tell a story about a student. Let's say that his name is John.
Okay, let's go.
John, at the beginning of last year, 2014-15 school year, John's mother was institutionalized.
Okay.
John's mom had threatened to call the cops and said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to kill my children. You need to come and get me.
Wow.
So they came and got her, and they institutionalized her.
Okay.
So John was with his grandmother at the beginning of the school year.
Okay.
School year started off pretty fine. John seemed fine, fairly well adjusted. Things did nothing out of the ordinary that you wouldn't expect a kid in second grade to do.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden something snapped in John. The smallest things will just cause him to just blow up.
Yeah.
uncontrollably.
Okay.
Like to the point to where he would like throw chairs and throw things and punch me and all kind of things. Like it was a very very serious situation. And so he was experiencing trauma from what he experienced with his mom.
Yeah.
And so, in that case, when he was doing some of these things, of course, in my job unfortunately, his job as dean of students, it's my job to, if a child misbehaves and, they violate our expectations, the rules for our community, I have to remove them from the community by suspension.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, I'm not a huge fan of suspension, because I believe that it's been, improperly used, and it's been a tool wielded that contributes to the school prison pipeline particularly for Black and brown children.
There you go.
So I will that tool very cautiously, if you will.
Okay.
And so when we do suspend kids, my goal is to try and find solutions for them as well.
Yes, sir.
And so with John, he needed help, man. Like it wasn't just he wasn't just mad. Like he needed serious help.
Yeah.
And so, working with his mom once she got out of care, she was in a program. And she was able to communicate with us. Things were rocky at first.
Okay.
Like I remember the first time we sat down, she wouldn't talk to me.
Man.
Like at all.
That's crazy.
Just yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah.
And just things kept on going on. He kept getting suspended. Like I think by the time we went home for Christmas break, he had been suspended like 28 days.
Whoa. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And so when he came back from the break, partnering with our social worker, with his mom, we slowly built that relationship up. We were able to get him into an intensive care program.
Okay.
Where it was like he got counseling at home, got family counseling in the home. His mom got counseled by the counselor, give her skills to work with him. Then he got counseling at school. Then his counselor that worked with him in that program actually came to the school and worked with him in the school. Then we could also call her if we needed to at school to support him. And then he also got some medical help as well.
Okay, that's what's up.
And so, with that, I mean, things didn't change overnight.
Yeah.
Things did not change overnight. They always get worse before they get better. I'd say, in all, he got suspended probably about 40 days last year.
Dang, that's crazy, man.
It's crazy. But we persisted through it. Through all, we never expelled him, no matter what happened.
Yeah.
He stayed in our school, and I'm glad to say this year he's had a fantastic year. He's only I don't think he's been suspended this year. And if he has been suspended this year, it's only been 1 day thus far.
Okay.
Thinking about this time last year, he had been suspended like 28 days.
Okay. Man.
So just like that's like, to me, that's true progress. That's to that goes to show what you can accomplish when you work together as a school, as a family, with one of our scholars.
Man, that's crazy, man. Wow, man.
But he's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant child.
Man, that's crazy.
We just need to get our kids the help they need, man. That's big. That's when a lot of times in those situations, people just assume the worst.
Yeah.
And they don't really try and give the kids the help they need.
Yeah, man.
To get them well.
All right, people. So again, this is D-Train Collective Sounds Podcast. This is an interview with Jerome Joseph. All right, man. So we are back, getting to the final stages of this episode here. So far we talked to this brother about, him growing up in Houston, some of the things that he went through in high school, in college, and then his most recent move to New York and working in the school system. So yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and push forward, man, into the last phase. And brother, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this question, man. I'm gonna touch on something real quick that we talked about in earlier conversations, man. You talked about wanting to open your own school back in the Houston area when you get the opportunity to come back. So what actually influenced you to wanting to do this, and what transitions have you made or are making to see this thing through?
As far as influenced me to want to do it, man, when you're a teacher, you're your locus of control is your classroom. Like you can't affect change throughout the building. The biggest thing you can do is a lot of times is worry about what's going on in your classroom. You can have your hands in a couple other places, right? And one thing that I've learned in my time, like in education, is that the person who leads the school, the principal, school leader, they're the person who sets the weather, who sets the tone in the school. And I want to be that person. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be the person who sets the weather for our school. I want to lead my scholars. I want to lead my staff into success. That's something that I really want to do. And the most important thing for me is to do it here at home. And I just do it here in Houston. I really want to do it here in Northeast Houston. I think that we've experienced a dearth of high quality options particularly here in Northeast Houston. Of high quality education options for our kids here. I want to be a positive contributor to that here, and not just in Houston, but in a neighborhood that I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? I don't want kids to have to go across town to get a great education, man. You can get a great education right in the hood here. You know
see, what's funny, man, is I grew up in Northwood Manor too, man. I lived right on Bluestone, right there in the front. From 6th grade to like a little portion of my 9th grade year, man. So I definitely understand the need of you wanting to do this and just making sure that all of these areas that may not have the best conditions in terms of schooling, community, youth, we want to make sure we implement those things by doing one thing, man. What you're doing or what you're looking to do could possibly impact everything that's done in that area. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. And my thing is when I do that, I don't want my school just to be a school. It's really important for me, for my school to be, a community hub. I want it to be a place where, where we can host events for not just for our kids and for our scholars, but for people in the community. So my ultimate vision is I want to have a school. I want to start at I wanted to start at kindergarten, but eventually I want it to go all the way through 12th grade. And I want to be able to also, I want to start it year by year, build a kindergarten, then kindergarten, first grade, then kindergarten, first, second grade. And with that, I also want to have an after school program. And I want our after school program not just to be open up to students in our school, but students from our community. No matter what school you go to, if you from this neighborhood, you can come to this after school program. Because that's huge for a lot of our families. Like the aftercare and those things are so expensive. It's gonna be free. That's my goal. Everything be free. Exactly, and then you broaden your reach, and you also provide a service to communities. People need to work, man. Like in this economy, they need to work. They need somewhere for the kids to be. They need a positive environment for kids to be, and I want to be able to provide that. Also, I would love to partner with the city and provide some wraparound services as well, like some health services, like dental screenings and things like that. And also have some adult education, adult education courses after school as well.
One of the things that it's funny that you're talking about doing all these different things, along with having a school, a place for learning, growing, all that stuff. It's like the community, man, because on behalf of helping our peers evolve, I appreciate you hitting us up through Facebook message, man, and just told us what good of a job we're doing. So those are those are some of the many things that we have been talking about, trying to push through in the communities as well. We talked about starting in Northeast Houston because that's where most of us are from. So it's a beautiful thing, man, when people can come together with these great ideas and just make things work, and just try and rebuild the community and just get more people involved. You know what I mean? So I really love what you're about to do, man. But one question that I do. Okay.
But but before you go, I gotta commend y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta commend you and Damon for what y'all doing, man. Because I think when real change happens,
Yeah.
young people need to be engaged in any movement and any real change. You know, you've seen a passing of the torch from the old guard to new guard. If you look at the civil rights movement, it wasn't just the SCLC involved. It was also SNCC with John Robert Lewis and and then Stokely Carmichael and Julian Bond and all those young cats involved too. So you know, I just appreciate the work that y'all doing, man. And I just want to come help y'all brothers build when I'm able to.
Yeah, man, it's coming, brother. I mean, everything happens in due time, and you know, too, I got to shout out Mr. Kevin Wright, Marquita Henry, Donnell Pope, man, because you know we all have come together as a hub, and we're trying to do these things. You know, there you go, baby. We're trying to get it.
Smile at 2006.
You know, it's just a beautiful thing, man. When you see things start to come together. You know, so I'm pretty sure in the future, man, when in all due time, when you get back down here, you know, permanently, we'll get to linking up and start to really push these visions and just keep building and connecting, man, for 2016 and beyond. Now, the one question I did have for you, I'm not sure, you know, what you have been kind of researching or doing as far as wanting to you know, build your school. But with that being said, like, if there are individuals out there in the Houston area that hear this and you know they like the idea and they want to actually you know, lend a hand in helping, you know, how could those people contact you if they just want to throw some ideas your way?
You can find me on Facebook. You can reach me via email at Jerome, Jerome K Joseph, JOSEPH @gmail.com. This has been an idea that I've been working on for probably like about the past 3 or 4 years, just thinking about logistically how it's going to work. But I've had conversations with people, and you know, people seem to like the idea. But I mean, if anybody's interested in helping me push this forward, fast forward this vision
there you
a
go.
few years,
what's up, man. You know,
I'm
I
open
say,
to it, man.
You know, one person or a group of people can start the vision, man, but it takes the whole community to really make it work. Because everybody plays a part, man. Like
yes.
Everybody plays a part. So and that's one thing. Again, I always say this to people. That's why Collective Sounds Podcast is here, because I'm not shooting for the stars and just trying to interview the person with the most likes on Facebook or the most likes on YouTube and all this, that, and the other. You know, this is a community we're trying to build. This is something that I want to. I want for people to see on the inside as well as the out that, hey, these are some of the things that Houston has to offer. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many hidden talents and things within the city that I didn't even know about. And, you know, we just want to do our part by putting those things on the forefront and really encouraging people to just build, man. You know, so man, dude, is there anything else you want to add, man, before we go ahead and bring this thing to a close?
Brother, I just want to say thank you
yes, sir.
for this opportunity, for allowing me to share my story. I hope I hope I didn't bore the folks, for bringing me on my first podcast. This is my first time doing this, so it's been a very exciting experience, man.
Man, I told you, man, you were definitely on my list. When you told me you was down here, man, I was like, I got to get this brother. Man, it's definitely been a pleasure, man. So you know, like, I just want to say from me to you, man, you know, I love what you're doing, brother. You keep your head up, you keep pushing, man. From New York to Houston or wherever we at in the world, man, we just keep building, we keep grinding.
Yes.
And you know, like I said, hopefully you'll be down here sooner than you think.
Yes, sir.
Start to build, man.
All right, I'm with you, man.
Yes, sir. All right, my people out there, man, this has been another episode of Collective Sounds Podcast. Again, this is your boy D-Train. We got Mr. Jerome Joseph Jr.
All right, peace, everybody.
All right, man, we out. Peace.
All right.